That's what Ohio residents are saying about Jeffrey Dahmer today. But what about this man's past? Dahmer lived here during his grade school and high school years. The house is located in Bath Township, an affluent suburb between Akron and Cleveland. Jim Kipple was Dahmer's neighbor for 10 years, but never a friend. In fact, when Dahmer was arrested Tuesday, Kipple had to dig into his high school yearbook to remember who Dahmer was.
The kids around the neighborhood, we got together, but never really remember him, you know. He was always at home and played by himself a lot.
Kipple, however, does remember a gruesome discovery he made 17 years ago while walking with his younger brother in a wooded area about a half-mile behind the Dahmer home.
I walked up and then I realized that it was a dog, and it was a pretty good-sized carcass, and it had been ripped open, you know, and gutted, you know, all over, the guts hanging around, and decapitated, and the head was actually on a tree, like all in line. It was a real strange thing because there was a cross and the dog hanging, and then the head behind it on a tree, and then there was actually a path going down to little fires, like it looked like a devil worshiping or whatever they do. And I remember taking a friend back then the next day, and we'd taken pictures and things just to show some people because it was such a strange, you know, we were going to try to see who was doing it, but never did do much about it. Actually stayed out of the woods.
Kipple still doesn't know who mutilated the dog. The incident was never reported to police. These Revere High School students don't remember Jeff Dahmer. They were only 5 or 6 years old when Dahmer attended class here. School officials say Dahmer was a C student. However, his grades were very inconsistent.
He ran the gamut academically in all subjects, from the very top of the scale to the bottom. There could be A's and F's in the same course, and that was standard throughout the major subjects that he took.
Holko showed us an unusual photo from the 1978 yearbook. It's a picture of the National Honor Society with one face edited out, Jeffrey Dahmer's. Dahmer apparently showed up for several club photos, even though he didn't belong.
Never seemed to be violent, but he was kind of never really had any emotions.
Bridget Geiger was Dahmer's senior prom date. She says Jeff was shy.
None of us can ever remember him dating anybody, and like I said, I still don't know why I ended up going to the prom with him. He was a perfect gentleman. You know, everything was fine. My mother had to pin the corsage on me because he was afraid of sticking me with the pin.
Shy is not how Police Captain John Gardner remembers Dahmer. 10 years ago, Dahmer was drinking a bottle of whiskey alone in front of a local hotel. Gardner tried to arrest Dahmer, but Dahmer wouldn't go quietly. How did he get the bruise on his chin?
Apparently he tipped himself over in the police station and swung around and hit his chin on the floor.
Dahmer was arrested for disorderly conduct, open intoxicants, and resisting arrest. It was his only run-in here with the law. Dahmer was also the victim of a broken family. Court documents show Dahmer's parents went through a bitter divorce during his junior and senior years. A former classmate felt something tragic was going to happen.
And I remember that kid that, you know, somebody should have helped and didn't. And it seems like the most horrific waste I've ever known.
Now, Schmidt says this is another tragic case of an individual falling through the cracks, and now many people are suffering because of it.
Interesting story, Mike. Thanks a lot. When we come back, the victims, their families.